What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with a brand new installment of the G Gundam reviews. I know, not a whole lot of people are actually watching them, but I don't really care. I'm doing this more for myself. I like this show. I like talking about this show, and this week was a really good episode. I'm sorry, I'm checking some stuff out real quick. Shouldn't be doing that while I'm trying to record. I like this episode. I like it. It doesn't focus so much on Domon. It focuses more on other characters. And this is one of the reasons I really like the Guyana Highlands story and parts of the Guyana Highlands arc. I think it is a perfect moment, if you will, where different things happen and different characters get some growth and development. There might not be a whole lot of growth and development, but you get a uniqueness to it. You get different sides to everything. And I like this one because it focuses on Saisaishi and Argo. And if you haven't already figured it out, I do like Argo Golfsky. Saisaishi is also really cool, and I do think he's fun and enjoyable. Very childish, but this is... I love every story that revolves around Argo. I just do. And let me quickly get over to the scene. And we begin. And today we get our announcer. He tells us, and trying to get this all right, about Domon training in the Guyana Highlands, doing all that, yada, yada, yada. And today's match will be between Chippity and Argo in a very contentious match. Very contentious. And it's actually a very brutal match when I think about it. I love this story, and I love this because Argo shows off that he doesn't play around. And we already know that if you've watched some of my previous reviews. When it revolves around Argo specifically, Argo doesn't mess around. Argo is out to win, and Argo will win. No matter what. And this episode shows that, yes, he is very much willing to win and to risk it all to win. Double checking that real quick. Yep. Now let's get into the episode. We start, battle set, ready to go, and name, can't read Japanese, sorry. We start seeing Rain working on the system, talking about some of the internal mechanisms, things that go over my head, but mainly she's working on the trace system, and the trace system is very important. What is the trace system? I haven't talked about this in a long time, but let me remind you. The trace system is the system that allows you to pilot your Gundam in Gundam G. That whole suit that wraps around your body, that is the mobile trace system. So she's working on the trace system itself. Not a big thing. Taking note of how damaged it is. She checks over at Domon because she's curious how much longer is he going to be training, because he's been training a whole lot. And we see Domon preparing to slash through a waterfall. Domon getting all amped up and excited, swings the sword right into the waterfall and gets flown into the water. He's not strong enough to do it. Gets himself out of water, and we see brain fart. Schwarzbruder. I got it. Don't worry. I had a brain fart. Schwarzbruder looking upon him in a very unique way. Taking note that Domon is a long way to go. He hasn't been training enough, and he needs to basically amp up his training. It's very important. We then hear, I want to say it was Kayun and Juizan. Kayun and Juizan start yelling for Saisaishi. We start hearing Saisaishi, Kayun, and Juizan. Out of the blue. Didn't know they were happening, but it turns out they're here. And we hear Saisaishi jumping around everything. And I'm going to... Yeah, you get it. Saisaishi jumps down as he's fleeing. Lifts up Rain's skirt and immediately jumps out. Because Saisaishi's been... Something's up with Saisaishi. He's more rambunctious, childlike, and more engaging than normal. More entertaining than normal. I do like Saisaishi in this. He's a little... he's acting more childish than normal. Wind blows. Rain sees Domon. Domon's face gets red, and Rain notices that Domon peeked. And before Domon can answer, he falls into the water. Schwarzbrüder looks down and reiterates, you really do need more training. Granted, Domon can't hear that Schwarzbrüder is watching this whole time. Just a fun little moment, but it does also serve a purpose of, yes, something's up with Saisashi. He's not normally like this. Okay, I'm going to try to get this right because they pointed out this episode and I'm still probably going to butcher it and get it wrong. Keiyun and Shuizun. Or Shuizun. God dang it. I'm not confident I got the names right. I'm not. But anyways, Saisashi's guys show up. They show up to acknowledge, have you seen Saisashi? Like, have you noticed him? Because they're being very frustrated with him. They're freaking out. They're saying, hey, he hasn't been training right. He needs to train more. And for the love of God, will the Shaolin Temple never be reignited? You know, their usual storyline. They want to reignite the Shaolin Temple and the Shaolin Temple's glory. We get that. Okay? Moving on. Night comes. Saisashi's jumping around, having fun, saying, hey, he's been training this whole time. You know, I'm going to back up a little bit. He's been training. He's been getting better. He doesn't need to keep training. He trains all day, every day. Those old guys don't get it. He's fine. And as you just saw, if I can get it just right again, and I'm going to use my frame-by-frame system that I just realized I had. Man, they do a lot of work in this. Screw it. I'm just gonna shoot my shot and wait, and hope for the best because I got it. There it is. I got it last time by accident. We get this brief shot of an obvious Dark Army soldier. Saisashi looks behind him and no Dark Army soldier. Obviously, you can probably figure out by that moment, Dark Army's gonna be involved. Let's just be real, they're gonna be involved in this episode. Saisashi then starts noticing, hey, there's a camp over here, and he realizes that's Neo-Russia. So Saisashi's gonna go have some fun over there. You know, we see them all preparing food, sitting down, it's night, relaxing. Saisashi steals a dish of food, starts eating it, saying this isn't good enough, they do spices all wrong, because Saisashi's a cook. Saisashi knows how to cook, Saisashi prepares the food often. We get that. Very, very fast, straightforward. We already know this if you've been watching the series. I'm more reiterating it for people that haven't watched the series. He peeks over and we see... Oh, sorry about that. I got her name earlier. I looked it up. I'm probably going to butcher it. I probably said it in a previous episode. Natasha. I still feel like that's wrong. I'm saying generic Russian name now for a woman. I believe this is Natasha, the general lady. I could be getting that wrong. Somebody in the chat, if you've watched G Gundam, you will be able to correct me. Because we don't really get her name uttered till the end of the series. Yeah. Anyways, he peeks over and sees Natasha, Russian general lady, swimming around all buck naked. Oh, get off that real fast. Saisashi, you know, being a young boy, being a young man, is enamored with a female body, rightfully so. He drops a spoon, gets a gun pulled on him. If I can get the shot just right. Well, he drops a spoon, she notices it, and she immediately pulls out a gun and starts shooting. Reasons. Because, well, she's military. Peeping Tom, gotta do it. Saisashi says, isn't she overreacting? Runs into Argo Golski, and Argo picks him up and asks, what the heck are you doing here? What's going on? Argo not really being a problem, just, you know, being Argo. kind of out of the loop, but not really caring. Saisashi breaks away, makes it to a cliff's edge. Argo approaches, and Saisashi decides to attack. I think in this time, I could be getting this wrong, it was announced that they're in search of the intruder, and Argo figures out that Saisashi's the intruder. Pretty fair and simple. Argo has to do his job, bring Saisashi back. Fair and simple. Saisashi leaps into action to attack Argo, lands a solid hit on his shoulder. Saisashi's all happy, and Argo just dusts it off. Because as we saw when we saw Argo battle Domon, like, even when Domon landed a hit on Argo, it did nothing. Argo is a behemoth of a man. Argo is pure muscle. Argo is pure strength, raw power. Excuse me. And my God, is he intimidating. And I love it. I love every minute of it. Argo then peers down upon Saisashi with very, very distinct eyes. Very enamored eyes. Like, these eyes are the eyes of a man who's ready to fight. Saisashi sees them, sees these eyes staring down at him, and starts having flashbacks to the Dark Gundam. And it terrifies him. This is a ongoing thing within Gundam right now, if I do say so. I don't know if the next episode they deal with a similar thing. I think they do. But for the most part, other than Argo, every member, other than Argo and Domon, well, Domon to a lesser extent, but still was heavily impacted, almost every member of the Shuffle Alliance, or the people that fought the Dark Gundam, have some sort of PTSD and are being affected by the fear. They have a fear of the Dark Gundam. Saisashi is going through a similar issue that Chippity went through, where Chippity was struggling to fight. His battle spirit his fighting spirit was shattered, and he was struggling. So, like last episode, his crew decided to get involved and help him win. We have a similar thing here with Saisashi. He is struggling with what happened with the Dark Gundam. Like, the Dark Gundam has scared him distinctly. Argo sees Saisashi backing up. Saisashi falls off the cliff and into the water. Argo looks over, and we see that it's a rushing water. Like, Argo doesn't know if he even survived. Natasha, who I'm convinced that's her name, so if it isn't, sorry, shows up with some generals saying, what the heck happened here? Argo doesn't respond, looks up at the sky, and we come back down on Shining Gundam. Because at some point in time, Saisashi has managed to get out of the water, make it over to the Shining Gundam, and prepares to get kind of bandaged up by Rain. Simple enough. We end up having some dialogue where Shuizen and Keiun say, you're acting like childish. Domon laughs and says, oh, so you ran into Neo Russia, huh? Did you try to beat Argo and he just knocked you off? You know, did you land a good hit with your martial arts? Did he just knock it off? You know, making fun. Just playing it up. Being kind of jovial. Busting each other's chops a little bit. Domon, who has fought Argo already, knows that Argo is not somebody kind of to take lightly. Like, you can have a bunch of great moves and Argo will just knock it off. Saisashi starts, snapping back, saying, hey, I hit him good. Rain starts saying, aw, you're just a little boy. You got this. You'll get better. And Saisashi freaks out and decides that he's going to challenge Neo Russia to a Gundam match, and he's going to beat them. He is going to destroy Neo Russia. Well, not destroy, but he's going to beat Neo Russia and show him just how strong he really is. In that moment, Shuizen and Kayun look at each other and agree that this will potentially help them out. And now I'm playing with volume and I don't know how. Cut back over to Neo Russia's base, where Natasha is talking to the government of Neo Russia and informing her that she is informing them that right now they need to follow Shining Gundam and Neo Japan to the best of their ability because she thinks Dark Gundam is a serious problem. She knows Dark Gundam's a serious problem. It is a serious problem. And they need to be able to be ready to basically eliminate Neo Russia. Rightfully so. Because it is a problem. It is a legitimate problem and a very bad problem. The government has another idea. Their plan is, hey, you need to take out the strongest enemy in the fight. That's Neo Japan. Take him out. Do your job. Get out of there. Move on. Do your job. Natasha is furious because she knows better. And let's be real, she kind of does know better in this situation, but she's mad because they're not taking her seriously. I don't blame her. The Dark Gundam is a serious problem, and they don't want to take it seriously. In the meantime, Natasha comes out, demands all the troops to kick into overgear. We have to get ready. And then we see that Dragon Gundam is there, ready to fight. Dragon Gundam declares battle, says, Argo, come and fight me now. And Argo kind of just says no. Nope, not going to fight you. Get out of here. Not fighting. Saisashi, being the kid that he is, loudmouth and stuff, alerting everybody to his situation, now has all the guards, all the troops aiming guns at him. And Natasha commands them to basically shoot warning shots or to get him out of here. Like, you're bad. Warning shots are fired. Saisashi flees. And as Argo is walking away, Natasha asks, why didn't you fight him? Why aren't you fighting him? Why aren't you doing your job? You're still a prisoner. Fight. And Argo just walks off. Walks into the mist because he's not wanting to fight. And Natasha's kind of furious with him, like, you need to fight. Shuizen and Kayun appear, and they have a proposition for Neo Russia. They have a plan. I do like their plan, though. I like it a lot. Cut to the forest, where Domon is continuing to train, hacking at a tree, and is getting very frustrated that he can't hack through the tree. Like, what is it? Why can't he do this? He's getting frustrated. And then Argo appears behind him. Halfway point. Back to Natasha, Shuizen, and Kayun. I'm pretty sure I'm getting that right. I don't remember which one's which. I'll try to do it. And I'm pretty sure her name's Natasha. I could be getting that wrong. It could be like Ivanka, for all I know. Or Natalie. Seriously, I don't remember her name. So, the idea is, please accept our match to battle Dragon Gundam. Dragon Gundam, they want to battle. They acknowledge that, hey, the challenger has the right, the challenged. I got it, because I am challenged. Anyways, the challenged has the right not to accept the match. But they are pleading to please accept Saisashi's match. Like, we need you to accept it. Natasha does it. Well, Natasha hasn't decided yet. We cut back over to Argo and Domon talking, and Domon asks Argo, hey, why didn't you accept Saisashi's match? Why aren't you accepting the match? I thought fighting was the only bit of freedom you actually get. And Argo says, hey, I actually don't like fighting. I don't enjoy it. I've never been happy fighting since my men have been captured, except for the time I fought you. When I fought you, I was reinvigorated. brought up to this new level, but every other fight hasn't been the same, and I don't really enjoy it that much. Then they hear an explosion. They run to the explosion and they see fire and a silhouette of what obviously must be Dragon Gundam. I mean, it's obviously Dragon Gundam attacking Neo Russia's base. Shuizin and Keyun are panicking because they're like, this can't be happening. Argo shows up. They see the silhouette of obviously Dragon Gundam, and Natasha says, "My God, get into gear. Argo, go stop him." And that's what Argo does. Launches up, and as he's launching, Shuizin and Keyun acknowledge that, hey, our plan's working, and not what we wanted to have happen, but results are results. Argo leaps into action. We cut over to Shining Gundam with Rain, and Rain's belittling somebody, and it turns out it's Saisaishi. Oh my God! I mean, come on. This is G Gundam. G Gundam knows what it is. It's a little cheesy. It's a little fun. But come on, you know that's not actually Saisaishi that did that. Saisaishi's there laying down, notices Bolt Gundam, leaps back into action, excited because Bolt Gundam has accepted his challenge. Rain's trying to figure out, like, why is he even coming over here? And Argo says, why did you do it? Why did you attack us? Why are you doing this? Saisaishi says, I don't know what I did, but I'll gladly battle you. Calls in Dragon Gundam. Match begins. Domon shows up with Shuizin and Keyun as the fight breaks out. And my God, this is a really cool fight. Like, they are jumping all over the place. They are landing hits, dodging left, right, and center. Saisaishi is jumping all over the place. Not fully hitting. Argo's kind of dodging here and there. Gets hit sometimes. But they've acknowledged that, hey, this is going to be a battle that they get to both let out completely. And they acknowledge that, hey, we don't usually get to battle somebody on par with Domon. So this is going to be fun. Shuizin and Keyun look on and saying, hey, that our plan's working. And that's when they drop the information to Domon after he asks, like, what are you guys planning? Turns out, like I said earlier, Saisaishi's going through a similar thing with that Chippity did. His battle spirit, his fighting spirit has been damaged. Saisaishi has been training every day, yes, has been training intense amounts, but the moment he gets to fighting, he can't do it. He gets scared and runs away. The Dark Gundam has left a scar on Saisaishi, and their idea was similar to the girls. Get him to battle somebody equally of strength. They said, hey, we can't get Domon because he's over here training, so we're going to we'll try to get somebody else. And it appears that they're going to get Argo. Their plan is working just fine. They're all happy, and I think it's here in a bit. We see Argo, lashing out, hitting Dragon Gundam, Saisaishi dodging every attack. They're all excited and happy, and Rain mentions a small flaw in this particular plan, considering they don't have Domon here. They're battling Argo. What's going to happen if Saisaishi loses? They didn't think that far ahead. I can't blame them fully, but at the same time, my God, why didn't you think that far ahead? That is a knockoff. But they acknowledge, hey, we didn't think that far ahead. Shuizin, Keyun, what's gonna happen? Domon says, don't worry, I think it'll all work out. They're equally strength. They're doing just fine. No, Domon says, I think Saisaishi will win. He's landing plenty of hits. Schwarzbruder then says, you're wrong, Domon. Falls down, and it points something out. Saisaishi's jumping all over the place. They make very good note to point that out. Like, Saisaishi's jumping all over the place, doing massive, doing his martial arts, jumping all everywhere. Argo, on the other hand, has barely moved. If he does move, it's a slight adjustment to dodge the hit or go in for a hit, but it's not the equivalent to what Saisaishi's doing. Saisaishi will soon fall down. He's running out of fumes. While Argo is still full gear, full force. Saisaishi continues his attack, goes in for one of his special attacks, imprisoning Argo in a field of flags. Argo says, "What's this?" Saisaishi goes in for an attack. Argo swings his mace up, Saisaishi hits his mace back, or his Morning Star. The thing with the chain ball. Whatever. Saisaishi hits it back, bounces all over the place, wrapping Argo up against a rock, basically pinning him down. Saisaishi goes in for the kill strike with his dragon braid, and in this moment, I love this moment. Argo, acknowledging that, hey, he's in a precarious situation. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He will not lose. He refuses to lose. So Argo rips. And remember, the trace system is very special. You feel the pain you endure. Argo rips off his own arm, essentially, in order to slam into Dragon Gundam, taking him out, knocking them both down to the ground. And in that moment, Schwartz acknowledges that, hey, Argo's a true fighter. Argo's a serious fighter. Because how Argo fights is he focuses every sense that he has on his opponent. He does not care about anything else but winning that fight, and he won't acknowledge anything else within that fight. Domon realizes, hey, he has a long way to go. Argo and Chippity are basically down for the count, and then they get surrounded by Russia. Everything seems to be ending up, ready to take in Domon for the battle. Then Schwartz is acting like, oh, you guys got the wrong people. Okay, I broke this up. They're capturing Neo China and Dragon Gundam because Saisaishi burnt up their place, they think. Obviously not. I forgot if it was obviously not them. Schwarzbrüder says, oh, you got the wrong people. In reality, it's them. And we see dark army dragon suits. Yeah, there's a decent amount of dark army dragon suits. So the dark army is what actually attacked. Natasha, who I'm willing to bet is not actually her name, but I'm making it her name for right now until I get told otherwise, acknowledges, hey, it's the Dark Army. They can't send in Dragon Gundam or Argo or Bolt Gundam because they're both very much beat up and banged up. Tons of the Dark soldiers are there, so Domon calls Shining Gundam. Rain pleads with him not to. And as Domon gets into Shining Gundam, it locks up, dealing him massive damage because Rain couldn't finish fixing the trace suit, so now it's overproducing power, not working right, and is basically harming Domon. Domon can't move. Dragon units are closing in, so Schwarzbrüder says, in the meantime, I'll take care of them all. And my God, is Schwartz good. He takes almost every one of them out but one. He misses a single one. It jumps up into the air, does the whole fire spin attack that Saisaishi is known for, using the dragon arms. Domon's locked in place, fire spinning at him. Domon's looking up, doesn't know what to do, and then remembers how Argo fights and what Schwartz said. He has to focus all of his senses on his opponent. So that's what Domon does. Domon focuses all of his senses, breaks through the trace system, ignites Shining Finger, jumps into the air, and destroys that unit with ease. Next morning, everything's pretty much good and done. Russia apologized to Saisaishi. Saisaishi apologizes to Russia. And they move on with their day, acknowledging, hey, that we are going to fight again someday. You're really strong. I enjoyed it. And let's fight some more. So, pretty much good. And in that moment, Domon acknowledges, hey, I have a long way to go. I got to get stronger. And I'm going to get stronger till I master the sword and become the best. And that's that. Not a very heavily complicated episode. Not a heavily complicated episode, but I still love this episode. You can get uber complicated episodes. There's some uber complicated episodes coming up soon. Episodes I really like. But this is one of those very simple episodes of, hey, here's a battle, here's a bunch of issues. And yet you still get decent amount of character development, character growth, and character arcs. Saisaishi struggling to be a fighter. Argo struggling to be wanting to fight, just wanting to fight, period, because he doesn't really enjoy fighting unless it's a really strong opponent. And Domon continuing his training. Characters growing. I liked it. I hope you guys liked it, and let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.